Eddie, are you confident England can take the All Blacks' consecutive win record? And also, do you believe England is the greatest threat to the All Blacks world title? And how potentially disruptive is the Lions to achieving that goal?
I recognise that accent. Sounds a bit like you used to do it, eh?
Long time
ago. Look, yeah, we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves. All of those things are in the future. All we have to do is worry about France.
Eddie, you talked last week about sort of the leadership vacuum, and how pleased are you to have Dylan back where he's to go?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Sorry, after talking last week about the leadership vacuum, how pleased are you to have Dylan back and captain and raring to go?
Yeah, I think he's ready to go. Trained well on Tuesday, still got a couple of days to go, but we're pleased to have him back. He's done a great job the first couple of days, but it's the continuity of the job. As I said, and it still goes, we've got to build a greater density of people underneath Dylan to make sure we're a team that's absolutely self-reliant. So whatever happens in the game, the team can fix the problem straight away. We had a situation yesterday where we didn't fix the problem. So we practiced that at training. We had another situation where we did fix the problem. So we're getting better at that. And we're getting players coming through and showing more leadership. But it's not consistent at the moment, and we need that consistency.
Dylan, it'll be 9 weeks since you played, so how confident are you you'll be comfortable doing an 80-minute shift?
I'm confident. I feel fresh. I feel fit and focused.
Have you done this kind of thing before? You've been out for that length of time and come in and asked to perform the way you'll be asked to against the front?
60 weeks off. He's an expert. He's a world expert.
Yeah, I have. Last Six Nations, I did it pre-Australia tour. Had some time out. I know where I need to be. And I think Eddie gave me a 7 out of 10 last week, so I think I might have gone up to 8 out of 10. It was tough yesterday.
7 out of 10 will start.
Dylan, will you be changing the way you play at all after this time?
Yes.
In what way?
Much documented tackle technique. I've been working very hard with Guzzy on that.
Just to get lower in general, just working on
We always want to tackle low, but there are times in a game where your second man low isn't the option. It's about, for me, my arms, bringing them tighter to my body, and following through with those shoulder, then arm. So a few technical things, but we have to adapt as players, because obviously the sanctions for a high tackle now have changed, and we need to look after player safety. So as players, we're seeing a lot more incidents in games now, a lot more cards, penalties, and we have to adapt.
But it was just a technical thing with Sean around that issue.
I think it's been covered.
Maybe is it something you have to work on with the whole squad? Is it something you've addressed?
No, it's just awareness. It's awareness that you just have to be more diligent about being better at tackle technique. For each player, it's different. There's nothing different in the game. You've got to remember there's nothing different in the game. It's always been illegal to attack the head of the opposition. It's always been illegal. Now, all World Rugby have said that now if you touch the opposition's head, there's going to be a penalty. So it's going to start with a penalty, or a yellow card, or a red card. Now, like anything in life, you put speed cameras in, and what happens? You get hundreds and thousands of people get fined. Speed camera goes in after 12 months later, those fines have decreased. The same with the tackle situation at the moment. Over the next 3 months, or how many months it's going to be, there's going to be proliferation of yellow and red cards until players learn to drive safely. and safety means in the speed limit. And we'll get there, and when that happens, like most of the roads, then it becomes a safer place to play rugby. That's what we want. We want kids to play rugby. Now, we don't want parents to be worried about the safety of their kids. You know, it's about the future of the game.
Dylan, do you think England can take that record of the All Blacks, the most consecutive wins?
Not if we don't beat France next week. All our focus is on that. Look, after November, we've met up probably 2 or 3 times now. All our focus has been on that first game. So, look, we're in a physical week now. A lot of analysis being done. So we can turn up Monday, Penny Hill, test week, knowing that we've put in a lot of hard work and we're prepared and we can fine-tune things towards that Saturday.
And any thoughts on whether the Lions tour will affect the intensity of the Six Nations?
Again, I'm sure individuals may have that in the back of their minds, but especially for me, just focusing on next week and my job and my role in our team being England.
Eddie, when you watch the Six Nations from afar, have you ever noticed any difference between the Six Nations played before a Lions series and any other in terms of the physicality and the intensity that's been played?
No, but I think players' focus does change. I think players get swayed about worrying about their own performance more than the individual performance, and that's something we've attempted to address. That, you know, every time they go to a media conference, you guys want to ask them about the Lions, you know, and it's about the focus of doing things well. Yeah, we want our team to play that well during the Six Nations. But when the Lions squad's announced, we've got the majority of players from the UK and from Ireland in that squad. That's our target. We want our players to play for the Lions, but it's a consequence of them playing well for us. And so, as long as our players focus on the here and now, which is playing well for us, then they'll get picked for the Lions. I don't think there's any change in intensity. I don't think that's a major motivational fact, apart from a few individuals that look to put their own performance ahead of others.
And how do you guard against those individuals being in your team?
Just as I said, and I won't pick them, mate. It's easy.
Any bonus points have any impact on the way you approach things this season?
No. You know, I've grown up with bonus points. Coaching Super Rugby when they first came in. Yeah, it's always been the fact that if you play well, you win. If you play really well, you win with the bonus points. Simple as that.
How long did you make Dylan wait to tell him he was the skipper?
I still haven't told him, mate. I haven't told you, have I? No, maybe it's a good time to tell him. All right, I'd like to officially announce Dylan. There you go.
Do you like being catching on your toes, Dylan?
Honestly? Yeah. Good.
Doesn't that well?
Eddie, just on the tackling, you're talking about how initially there might be sort of speed advantage. Do you think the Six Nations could see a higher number of cards and sightings compared to ones in the past? Then?
Possibility, yeah. Definitely, that's a distinct possibility. So it's going to be a bit of fun. 14 versus 13. So plenty of space. Then the bonus points comes into it. So we've got everything linked together nicely here, haven't we?
Eddie, no side obviously wants injuries, but the fact you've got some new blokes in the squad pushing for starting places, is that a good thing as far as you're concerned?
Well, we want to increase the depth of the squad. We're building towards the World Cup in 2009, and every tournament we play is about getting better for the World Cup. And to do that, we need to increase the depth of our squad. You know, it's been shown historically that to win a World Cup you need at least 3 quality players in each position. So we get the opportunity with injuries to the Vunipolos, to Tuolani, to Rob Shaw, to Haskell, to Clifford, to get opportunities to view the depth of our squad in certain positions. And so we welcome that opportunity. You know, it's fantastic for the depth of the team, and 2017 is a great year to do it.
Eddie, any updates on Haskell and Clifford? Are you confident they'll be fit for France?
Clifford, we're still waiting on a final last examination on his injury. Haskell, Might be flying out with us tonight, so I'll be able to look at his Instagram, check out what he's been doing lately, make sure we don't become clickbait or whatever the term is. What is it?
Fake news.
Dies, yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing him on the plane and make sure I sit next to him.
But do you reckon he'll be fit for France?
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. He'll come in Thursday, Friday, we'll have a look at him. Yeah, he's always a guy that, as you know, prides himself on his physical regime. And so it's a matter of whether he can get up to speed in terms of game understanding and game awareness and fitting in the system for us.
Eddie, what do you think of Wales's request that the roof be closed at their ground?
I don't care, mate.
Would that give them an unfair advantage?
Doesn't matter, mate. Both teams are going to play under it. So they can open it, close it, they can do both. Doesn't matter. You know, we'll go there and play Wales, whatever it is, whenever we do play Wales. I can't see it's a big deal, mate.
Tony, I don't know you spoke about your eye. Is it just a knock, or is it cut open as well? Will it be closed for France, or are you going to be fully fit yourself?
No, I'll be alright, mate. I'll be at training on Thursday, ready to go.
And in terms of what your team's doing on the pitch, what do you think this year is the biggest area that you need to improve on?
Well, for us, again, it's just about our consistency in our set piece. You know, we've had great periods in our scrum and great periods in our line-out, but they haven't been consistent from game to game. And when you want to be the best team in the world, you've got to be consistent in those areas, because that's still the hallmark of rugby, and particularly in European rugby. And then our second priority is our defence to be absolutely suffocating. So we take away time and space continually from the opposition. And then our third priority is to work on our developing more attacking threats.
Dylan, obviously you've made it very clear that you and the rest of the team have been very focused on that opening match. I'm curious for you and the rest of the guys, what are the kind of key battlegrounds that you've identified that you really think are going to be the decisive areas of the pitch?
Set piece. You look at France, man for man, huge blokes, love a scrum, love them all. And then you look at their back line, they can be very direct. They've got some big threats there. And then they have the ability to play an unstructured game, an offloading game where the whole team can come to life. So that they can play either way. They can play a tight, slow set piece based game, or they can speed it up and play an unstructured fast game. So we've got to be prepared to basically deal with both and make sure we can play the game how we want to play.
I mean, how do you prepare for that kind of versatility? Are there specific things that you guys have been working on in preparation for that?
Set piece. It's easy to talk about scrums. I can talk about that sort of thing. Look, we're focusing on ourselves. We've got to be aware of what France may or might not do, but Eddie alluded to it earlier, we can only control ourselves. So the preparation that's going into our defence, being suffocating, our set piece, being consistently excellent, and our attacking game, working on that. So that's what we're working on this week.
Dylan, you mentioned in the press conference earlier on Maratoji. Obviously England are blessed with a kind of embarrassment of riches at the moment in the second row, but how good is it to have someone like Maro back in the squad and back in the team for you as a leader?
Good, just another energetic, quality player. But we've had a lot of players come back. George Cruz has come back alongside him. It's great to have Jack Noel and Anthony Watson back in the camp as well. All these guys over the last 12 months have contributed to the team in some way. So competition's hot, and that brings the best out of the guys in training, I think. It's an aspirational place to be, and I think when you've got people climbing over each other to be there, it only brings the best out of them. So yeah, competition is good, and it breeds depth in our squad.
With the time you've had out, have you reflected on the captaincy and what it means to you? Do you cherish it that much more now, given what happened?
Always reflect. I reflect most days, actually. I think being a part of this group is a privilege. Like I said, it's an aspirational place to be. And when you know the team, the journey it's on, it is going somewhere, and we want to be the best team in the world. To be a part of that and to feel like it's going somewhere, it is a privilege. So I've had a good reality check, and I understand I'm in a privileged position, whether that be a player in the team or the captain.
Did you feel you put it in jeopardy?
Of course.
Does that status as England captain, does that mean something to you? Do you think about it like that?
Not the, I don't know how you mean. Obviously it's a responsibility, but status, how do you...
Status of your England captain, you are the focal point, you're the most famous rugby player in the country pretty much when you're doing that.
No, it's Owen Farrell. So many Owen Farrell fan accounts out there on social media.
Did you worry that your captaincy would be taken off?
I think I worry when I'm in this environment. I'm aware that every week, and I think every player in the group is aware, if you don't perform in training or in games, your place is up for grabs. So it's never a given. So of course,
In terms of your red card and that performance?
well, I made it harder for myself to be in this privileged seat. But I've reflected, I've worked hard. Like I said, I feel fresh, fit, and very focused.
Is it a fun squad? Is there a good sort of team spirit?
It's a nice question. It is, mate. Like I was saying to you the other day, it's good to have all the boys back together. So when you've got guys coming back from injury, the energy they bring back into the squad. The guys love each other's company. It's a really good place to be. I'm not saying it wasn't before, but we've got good people in the room, and the guys enjoy each other's company off the field. On the field becomes a lot easier. So training becomes not easier physically and that, but it's just a good place to be. It's a good environment.
Eddie, you talk about having not any world-class players in the squad yet. If you were to retain the Grand Slam, would you have some then?
Mate, I reckon you should read Alex Ferguson's book. Timmy, you got your copy? So he coached 26 years at the biggest club in the world. He had 2 world-class players. But you got to understand the connotation of world-class means. If you're a world-class player, that someone picks a world 15, so someone in the right-hand corner picks a world 15. What's your name, mate? With a beard. No, right down the corner. With a beard. What's your name? You don't know. I'll give you a name now. That he picks his world 15. He picks that player. It's a unanimous choice. So if you look back at the New Zealand side of the past 8 years, McCaw and Carter were unanimous choices. So they were world-class players because every game they played 8 out of 10. They never slipped down to a 6 out of 10. They never slipped down to a 5 out of 10. And that's being world class. In cricket, you've got to average 60, don't you, to be world class. So in rugby, we've got some players doing exceptionally well. But that doesn't mean they're world class yet. It doesn't mean they're not great players. And it's not a detriment on English rugby that we don't have that. Now, obviously, we do. We want to have, by 2019, we want to have 4 or 5 world-class players, because then that gives you such a solidity of performance that it doesn't matter what game you put in, you're going to play well, because you've got those 4 or 5 guys that are going to play 8 out of 10 every game. You know that. And we'll get there. We'll get there. So don't worry about it too much.
Do you feel there are any world-class players in the Six Nations?
It's a good question. I haven't thought about that because I don't coach the other players, so I'm not really concerned.